The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Central Kitsap, Washington, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32330. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting down in the front bumper, in the cutout area you'll find 2 tow hooks on the right and left side. Located in the center behind the grille, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker system. Moving up onto the top, you'll find a reflective Central Kitsap logo. Moving up onto the grille, you'll find 2 forward-facing emergency warning lights. As we move to the side, right and left headlight cluster, you'll find turn indicator, high and low beams. You'll also find just to the rear of those emergency warning lights located on the fenders. Moving up onto the top on the driver's side, you'll find your air intake. And this just down onto the fender, you'll find the right and left turn indicator. When gaining access into the engine area, you'll need to release these 2 mechanisms on the right and left side of the body. Moving to the section where your fuel tank is located, you'll find an ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. You'll also find your 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. This is the blue cap. As we look to the cab, you'll find the release mechanism or door latch. It is also keyed. And then also per NFPA grab handles for gaining access for firefighters into the cab. Up onto the top, you'll find a flat mirror, and just beneath that, you'll find a convex mirror. Let's move inside the cab, where you'll find the key mechanism for starting and stopping the vehicle. You'll also find this yellow placard system located on the section near the seat, and you'll also find air ride control comfort features for the operator. Let's go ahead and go over the placard system. This is prepared by Pierce Manufacturing. This houses the job number, date of manufacture, gross vehicle weight ratings, including tire inflation, and also the VIN, and then it also has all of your maintenance information regarding fluid capacities. You'll also find just beneath that the master on-off switch. It is a quarter turn. Let's move to the dash area, where you'll find this placard regarding the height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating. Moving up onto the top, you'll find your speed control for your cruise control settings. You'll find the resume and set coast for your cruise control settings. And then just down from that location, you'll find the increase or decrease for the lights inside of the dash area. You'll also find increase or decrease settings for your cruise control. Once again, this is the left-hand side, about the left knee of the operator. This is the key mechanism for allowing you to start and stop the vehicle. You'll also find your VMAX diagnostic port, and then just beneath that, the vehicle data recorder. Underneath the vehicle data recorder, you'll also find an audible alarm, which does have the ability to control the sound volume by the outer edge bezel. Moving to the dash area, we'll start first in the upper left-hand corner with your filter minder. Moving to the right, you'll find your automatic traction control. Just beneath that, you'll find your Allison transmission pad. Moving further to the right, you'll find a variety of information, switches, and also engagement features. First, this is your pump engaged. This is a light indicating green that your pump is properly engaged. To the right, you'll find your system parking brake, pull to apply and push to release. Just beneath that, you'll find your PTO shift information, and then also a light. Moving to the right, you'll find your PTO pump. This is to engage the PTO. To the right, you'll find your high idle switch, and then further to the right, you'll find an alarm reset. There's also a digital readout in this section or module to the right of this location, in addition with a set of informational indicators. One, a do not move truck. This is in case you have a compartment or something ajar. You'll also find the OK to engage the high idle, a green indicator. And then when you turn your battery switch on, you'll find your battery switch illuminated in green.
Moving to the left set of switches, we're going to find this is for your axle. This is to engage both the front and rear axles together. And then you'll also find to the right your DPF or regen information, mirror heat. You'll also find seatbelt information, green indicating that someone is in the seat and belted, red indicating that they are in the seat and not belted. Moving further to the right, once again, you'll find the battery switch indicator. Let's move further down. First, you'll find power outlets on the right and left side. These are barrel style. Then moving just inward of that location, you'll find window controls for the passenger and driver side. And then you'll also find your auto door locks. Let's go ahead and go overhead of the operator's area. First, we'll find a set of switches located in the center, which we'll cover, and then a set of switches on the left-hand side. Let's start with the emergency master, lower rear zone, and then also a set of future switches and a siren horn selector switch. Located in the center, you'll find a rear scene light and then also your PA speaker and also your siren control. You do have a backup camera. That's the monitor for your backup camera. Located under the driver's seat, you'll find comfort controls for air ride and also shift the seat forward and backwards. Back to the exterior, you'll find the silver tank is your ultra low sulfur diesel. The black with the blue cap is going to be your is your DEF tank, blue indicating DEF. You do have, once again, handles gaining access in and out of the cab. Let's go ahead and look underneath the pump panel area where you'll find your number 1 and also your driver's side auxiliary inlet. And these are the drains for those. Also to the right, you do have perimeter lighting located underneath the apparatus at all points for personnel. Let's move now to the very top. This is the midsection of your apparatus where the number 1, number 2, and your dead lay is located. These are your cross loads. They are color-coded and also clearly indicated via a label. Let's move down from this section into the pump area. First, let's start on the upper left-hand corner with your pump discharge gauge. As we move further down, you'll find a latch to gain access behind this panel. And then just beneath that, you'll find your pump intake. Moving further to the right, you'll find your vacuum and pressure test gauge ports. They are currently plugged. Moving up from that, you'll find this blue module, which is your water tank. And then moving all the way to the top, you'll find a set of switches for your panel lights. To the right, you'll find your pressure throttle governor. We'll go over that, which is, if illuminated, a yellow check engine light will illuminate. Located in the center, you'll find a digital readout for your RPMs. To the right, if illuminated, it will be a stop engine light, which will be red in color. Moving over, you'll find your blue menu switch will allow you to scroll through the various menus. You'll also find engine diagnostic information in the center. Located to the far right in red, you'll find a silence for the audible alarm, which is located at the very base. You also have the preset for your green indicator, and then you also have pressure or throttle control with an indicator located in the center for a digital readout. There is a green indicator that your throttle is ready to be utilized, which you can control from this position here or push for idle. Down at the very bottom, you'll find the audible alarm. Once again, the outer edge of the bezel will allow volume control to dampen. To the right, if you've properly engaged your pump, you will find pump engaged lit in green. Let's move down to the set of gauges and discharges. First, number 1 cross lay, number 1 driver's side, and number 2 passenger side. You also have your tank refill and recirculating line. Down in the next set, you'll find the number 2 cross lay in white, an engine cooler, which is a turn, not a pull. And then you'll find in the center, you'll locate your large diameter passenger side, which is going to be green. And there are priming instructions just beneath this for your primer. You'll also find your tank to pump. There is a job placard. We'll talk about this in the next set of images. This is for your test pressures. Let's go ahead and move down and talk about that placard next. The placard located here with the job number references your test pressures for 150, 200, and 250 psi. You can see the GPM is on the right-hand side and your PSI will be on the left-hand side. Please see your owner's manual for more information on pump testing. To the right, you'll find your large diameter intake, and then moving to the left in red, you'll find the number 1 driver side scene discharge. This is a 2.5-inch discharge. As we move to the bottom, you'll find your air inlet chuck, and then moving up from that location, you'll find your 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet ball valve, and then moving further to the right, you'll find your auto charge system. When plugged into shore power, this will activate, and then just beneath that, you'll find your pump drain. Moving further to the right, you'll find your shore inlet. This is when plugged into shore power. This is the plug that you'll plug into. Here's some close-ups of those images that we just talked about. We'll now move to the side of the apparatus just for some general vicinity locations. First, you'll find your logo across the entire side, Central Kitsap Fire and Rescue. As we move underneath, you'll find 2 compartments, front and rear. Let's go ahead and talk about the front compartment. Inside that compartment is where you'll find your auto charge system. When plugged into shore power, this will activate, maintaining your batteries. As we move through some of the items here, I will identify some of the items. This is a side marker light. Moving to the rear, you'll find your Alcoa wheels with Michelin rear tires. As we move in between the duals, you'll find an emergency warning light. Just above that, you'll find 2 bottle storage locations with retaining straps. Let's go ahead and move to the very rear compartment. As we look inside this compartment with the door rolled up, you'll find LED lighting inside. As we move to the rear, you'll find mud flaps located on the rear section of the dual. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear section of the apparatus, where you'll find your emergency light, turn indicator, brake light, and also backup lights. Just above that, you'll find hose storage locations on the right and left above those clusters of lights. Moving inside of that, you'll find just off of the frame rail 2 closed tow hooks. Moving up to the top, you'll find 2 2.5-inch direct fill tank, water tank fill locations. And above that, you'll find rear-facing work lights. There is also a backup camera located at the very top. Moving down to the rear chute location or dump location, you'll find your control manual valves. Here's some close-ups of those things that we just talked about. These are the closed tow hooks. Moving over to the left and right, you'll find your emergency light, brake, turn, and backup light. You'll also find storage location for your suction hoses on the right and left side of the vehicle. This is the switch for your hose bed lights, license plate light. As we move to the center section here, we'll find the direct fill, which is a 2.5-inch, clearly identified here. This is a female coupling and a ball valve. As we move to the chute itself, you'll find that there are some indications here for no step and also instructions on how to operate. Once again, this is the direct fill on the driver and passenger side. Close up once again of the turn indicator, brake, emergency, and backup lights. You do have the 2 work lights above and also a camera located in the center. Once on top of the vehicle, you'll find the walk space clearly identified in the yellow tape. You also have a top water fill location. In the same vicinity, you'll find a work light located on the cab. Looking downward in this section, you'll find your 3 cross lays, 1 dead lay. Emergency lights on the very top area and also at the very brow of the apparatus, 5 running lights. As we move back to the rear, this is the right side or passenger side. This is the access for your suction hose. And then we'll take a look at the very top section here, marker light, emergency light, and also a backup light here on the very back of the apparatus. General view of the side of the apparatus. As we move to the side of the apparatus, just beneath the open compartment here is where you'll find your exhaust. There is a warning label here regarding super extremely hot temperatures. Be cautious as to where you park your vehicle. Let's go ahead and move forward to this location. You'll find a drop down or fold out step. This is the pump panel area. Also, your vehicle is equipped with a porta tank. This is with the porta tank in the open position for gaining access to your porta tank. Let's go ahead and move now to the center section or crosslay area. First, let's talk a little bit about some of the compartment items here. The very top, you have a pan door. Just beneath that, you'll find your large diameter discharge. Beneath that, large diameter pump intake. Moving further to the right, and we'll cover this in the next set of images, you do have your powered equipment rack. That is for your porta tank. And then just beneath that, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. At the very base, you'll find all the associated drains for each of the items in this area. Let's go ahead and move back to the top of this for a close-up. We've got this access point here. This is a closed pan door. When we gain access, this will give us easy access behind to the pump panel area for the electronics. Here's a few close-ups of some of the other items that we've just talked about. This is your large diameter pump intake. As we move further to the right and downward, you'll find your number 2 passenger side discharge. And then the Storz coupling, this is going to be your large diameter discharge. Moving further to the right, you're going to find this control module. This is your powered equipment rack. There is some information here on how to raise and lower. Drains are located across the bottom, just a close-up. As we move to the side section, we saw this from the other perspective of the apparatus. This is the dead lay, number 2, and number 1 cross lay. General view here of the cab, and we'll next look down at the bumper area. These are the steps. Just underneath the steps, you'll find LED lighting. Just as above the step, you'll find additional LED lighting. This is the passenger side. Let's go ahead and move just inside the cab of the passenger area. On the right-hand side floorboard, you're going to find your electronic siren foot pedal. You'll also find a grab handle just on the inside of the door area as you gain access into the seated area. You'll also find, once again, that foot pedal on the right, but you're also going to find your cab air filter access point located here. Also, as we look in front of the passenger seat, you'll also find storage location here with a twist handle. Moving to the front section of your cab, you'll also find air conditioning and a grab handle on the A-pillar. Let's go ahead and look overhead. You'll find your control module for your siren and PA speaker system, in addition with push on and off red and white lights. As we also move forward, this is the hood release mechanism. To release, simply pull the latch forward. Make sure you release on the opposite side and you'll gain access to the engine area. Alcoa wheels, Michelin tires, once again headlight cluster and emergency lights. Just a general view here of the side of the apparatus. Congratulations, Central Kitsap, Washington, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32330. If you have any questions as to the content of this video or any further information regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.